Even as the investigations into the recent gold smuggling scam continues, now led by the CIB team, remarks by Nepali Congress chief Sherbahadur Deuba has sparked controversy. Deuba, during the parliamentary party meeting yesterday, noted that provisions related to gold import should be relaxed to control the smuggling of the precious yellow metal. Observers have termed Deuba's remarks as ill-timed and naive, considering that the ceiling on gold import was placed to clamp down the depleting foreign currency reserve. Good morning, I'm Abheudaya Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. The government decides to allow plotting of lands by approving the land use policy, the decision believed to activate the slackened economy. The government hikes prices of petrol and diesel. Petrol to cost 175 rupees per litre, diesel dearer by 14 rupees, more burden on consumers. North Korea says U.S. soldier Travis King had crossed into its territory because of inhuman treatment and racial discrimination, rejects spying speculations. And co-host Australia take on England in the second semi-final of the FIFA Women's World Cup. The match slated for 3:45 p.m. kickoff Nepal time. Spain wait for the winner in final. Prime Minister Pushpa Dahal is embarking on a state visit to the United States of America on 16th of September next month, as he is scheduled to attend the United Nations General Assembly slated to begin from 19th of September. Between 19th to 20th of September, Premier Dahal is scheduled to attend the sessions on behalf of the chair of the least developed countries. Based on the schedule published by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Premier Dahal is scheduled to address the UN General Assembly on 21st of September. Following his address, the Prime Minister is scheduled to directly fly to China, where he would attend the inaugural ceremony of the Asian Games in Hangzhou, among other programs, and return home on 25th of September. The government will be enlisting 5.8 million workers who are self-employed or those working in unofficial sectors to the Social Security Fund. Prime Minister Pushpa Dahal is initiating the process through an official program today. The laborers will be incorporated in the Social Security Fund by preparing a work procedure. Laborers who want to be enlisted in the fund have to contribute 20.37% of the minimum wage determined by the government, which comes out to be 1,912 rupees per month. Likewise, self-employed workers will have to contribute 2,909 rupees per month. Those enlisted in the Social Security Fund will enjoy benefits like medical services, medicines, health and motherhood security plan, accident and disability security, dependent family security plan, and pension facilities. Those who want to be enlisted in the fund must present a recommendation from their respective municipality. There are currently more than 710,000 laborers enlisted in the fund from more than 18,000 employment-providing companies. The meeting of the Council of Ministers held yesterday has decided to allow plotting of lands by approving the land use policy. Minister for Fiscal Infrastructure and Transport Management Prakash Jwala said the previous cabinet meeting had decided to amend the land use policy. However, the final decision was reached only yesterday. Likewise, the meeting also decided to place the crystal discovered in Gorkha at the Gorkha Palace and to compensate the family who had safeguarded the crystal. Investigation into the case of gold smuggling from the airport, which is under tight security, has now been politicized. Main opposition CPN-UML has been demanding for the formation of a high-level committee to probe into the matter, while the government has declined the call. This situation raises questions regarding the nature of cases to be investigated by state mechanisms and the scenarios requiring formation of a separate committee for investigations. The actual quantity of the gold confiscated from the airport has been determined after the Central Investigation Bureau CIB of Nepal Police was assigned the investigation responsibilities. While the quantity has been determined, the political parties are busy in creating controversies around the case. Main opposition CPN-UML has been questioning the investigations being held by the government mechanism and has demanded for the formation of a high-level committee to probe into the matter. In such a situation, curiosity has surfaced regarding the difference between the investigations carried out by the CIB and any other committee. Those arrested in the gold smuggling case are being investigated for organized crime. Cases are to be filed immediately after the conclusion of the investigations, where the court treats the facts collected by the police as evidences. However, the court does not consider the reports prepared by any committee formed outside of the legal provisions and probing such cases as evidences. Some 7 years ago, the government had formed an investigative committee to probe into the 33-kilogram gold scandal. However, the report was never published. Those arrested in the case on the basis of investigations of the committee have all been released. The main reason for that was the fact that the committee was not able to find the gold. The government had also formed another committee to investigate the murder of 13-year-old Nirmala Panta of Kantipur. The report of that committee also failed to produce any concrete findings, while the perpetrators were never arrested. Experts are of the opinion that a separate committee for investigation into the recent airport gold smuggling case should only be formed if it can produce concrete facts and evidences. Formation of such committees can be effective for social and political cases. However, experts have said that not trusting the state mechanism for probing criminal activities and forming separate committees for the same could compromise the investigations. As reports prepared by the high-level committees cannot be presented as evidences, such practices are putting the perpetrators at ease. Therefore, analysts have called for proceeding with investigations with the objective of identifying those guilty and ensuring legal actions against them. The recent gold smuggling case is not a one-off incident and has also raised serious questions on national security. Therefore, there is no alternative to making amends in the investigation procedures by identifying those involved in the case and taking actions against them. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces, why have the political parties remained polarized on important aspects of good governance? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
आफ्नो स्वार्थमा लागिहाल्छ त्यही भएर यस्तो भयो
भोलिको दिनमा म गए म उहाँलाई गर्छु भोलिको मेरो सतायो त म उलाई गएर जेलमा थन्छु तर त्यस्तो केही पनि गतिविधिको कारणले यो राम्रो देशको विकास हुँदैन
ठिक होइन किनकि आफूमा मतलब झगडा गरेर त्यो समस्याको समाधान हुँदैन त्यसको लागि कार्य गर्नुपर्छ
आफू अथवा आफ्नो मातहतका क्रियाकलापहरूलाई जोगाउने प्रक्रियामा विभिन्न खालका जनतामा आँखामा छारा हाल्ने किसिमका क्रियाकलापहरू भएका पनि देखिन्छ
व्यक्तिगत स्वार्थ हाबी हुँदाखेरि
देखाउनका लागि सबैले सुशासनको मुद्दा भन्ने तर भित्र रूपमा आफ्ना कार्यकर्ता पर्ने भएपछि त्यसलाई चाहिँ नउठाउने गरेका छन्
कसले जस लिने भन्ने होडबाजी चलेकै कारणले गर्दाखेरि
देश र जनता भन्दा व्यक्तिगत स्वार्थमा रुल मुलिएको हुनाले
आफ्नो व्यवसाय नै यही गरेर कसरी हुन्छ कमाउ धन्दा मात्रै भयो राजनीतिक नेताहरूको
स्वार्थको कारण नेताहरू झगडा गरिरहेका छन्
फस्ने कारणले एक आपसमा झगडा गरेर अझ देशमा अराजकता र कानुनी हिंसा अपनाइराखेका छन्
The Nepal Oil Corporation has hiked the prices of petrol, diesel and kerosene. Yesterday's board meeting of Nepal Oil Corporation decided to raise the prices of petrol by 5 rupees and diesel and kerosene by 14 rupees per litre each. The corporation has informed that the price of petroleum products was raised to make price adjustment to the price list sent by India. As a result of this price adjustment, the new price for petrol from today will be 175 rupees per litre, while diesel and kerosene will now cost 164.5 rupees per litre. Meanwhile, the prices of LPG cooking gas and aviation fuel remain the same. Foreign employment, previously centered in the Gulf countries and Malaysia, is slowly shifting towards European nations. A total of 39,000 youths have left for Europe after receiving their work permit in the past 1 year alone. However, in the absence of labor agreements of the government with the European nations, Nepali workers have been denied basic services and facilities. According to the Ministry of Labor, Employment and Social Security, more than 13,000 Nepali workers have left for Romania in the last year alone. Around 7,000 workers have received their permit for Croatia, 5,600 for Malta, and 5,000 for Poland. A total of 39,000 Nepali migrant workers have reached European nations after receiving their permits from the government in the past year alone. As most Nepali workers are increasingly getting attracted towards Romania, Portugal, Poland and Malta, experts have called for reaching labor agreements with these nations to ensure the basic services and facilities for them. Meanwhile, with the increase in the number of Nepali workers leaving for new European destinations, cases of fraud have also increased. A total of 3,356 complaints have been filed at the Department of Foreign Employment in the past year, which is twice more than the previous fiscal year. Experts have said that reaching labor agreements with these nations will help in curbing the cases of fraud and holding accountable the entities sending the workers to those countries. The government has reached labor agreements with only 10 destination countries so far, while such an agreement is yet to be reached with 110 other countries where Nepali nationals are employed. Officials of the Ministry of Labor have said that efforts are being made to reach labor agreements with the countries preferred by Nepali workers for employment. It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question. What is the reason for the delay in reaching labor agreement with destination nations of Nepali migrant workers? Your options are A, hesitation from destination nations, B, inadequate diplomatic effort, and C, ignoring workers' plights. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And it's time now for the international updates. North Korea has concluded that U.S. soldier Travis King wanted refuge in another country because of inhuman treatment and racial discrimination in the U.S. and the military. This is Pyongyang's first public acknowledgement of King's crossing from South Korea on 18th of July last month. A private in the U.S. Army, King dashed into the north while on a civilian tour of the joint security area on the heavily fortified border between the two Koreas. U.S. officials have said they believed King crossed the border intentionally and have declined so far to classify him as a prisoner of war. North Korean investigators have also concluded that King crossed deliberately and illegally with the intent to stay in the north or in a third country. U.S. officials have so far said that the North had not provided substantiated responses to their requests for information on King. The Pentagon said it could not verify King's comments and remains focused on his safe return. It did not address whether it had heard more details from North Korea. U.S. officials have said that factors including King's decision to cross into North Korea of his own free will in civilian attire appear to have disqualified him from the prisoner of war status. The United Nations has warned millions of people are running out of food in Sudan and some are dying due to lack of health care after 4 months of war that have devastated the capital Khartoum and sparked ethnically driven attacks in Darfur. In a joint statement, the UN said time is running out for farmers to plant the crops that will feed them and their neighbors. Medical supplies are scarce and the situation is spiraling out of control. The conflict between Sudan's army and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces (RSF) erupted on 15th of April earlier this year over tensions linked to a planned transition to civilian rule, plunging the country into violence and threatening to destabilize the region. Since then, more than 4 million people have been displaced and the UN estimates that more than 4,000 people have been killed. Elizabeth Trossel, spokesperson for the High Commissioner for Human Rights, said in a briefing in Geneva. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.